All right, welcome. We've got kind of a fun video for you today. If you've got some weird, funky family dynamics going on and you don't want to host your family for a holiday, maybe Thanksgiving, for example, or you don't want to make the long road trip to a certain place to celebrate, maybe it's just too far, I might suggest meeting in the middle. That's what we did, and we actually celebrated our holiday in a hotel room. So in this video, I've got some tips for you on how you can have a meaningful holiday gathering with family in, yes, a hotel room. Doesn't sound very luxurious, but I assure you, with some tips and some proper preparation, it will work. This is our Thanksgiving meal. Pretty fun. It was definitely a success. So let's go ahead and get started. First thing, we're going to be carrying with us on our road trip any prepared food that we want to bring with us. So in this video, we'll be talking about Thanksgiving specifically. So we're actually making sweet potato casserole from scratch, and that is our dish to bring, right? Our other families each of them will bring something else with them. And so that is one tip. Bring what you can with you in the car. You don't want to overdo it. I've got another tip here for you. Where are you going to get the rest of your food, right? So first of all, we're going to rent or get a hotel room that is a suite. You can see here we've got a full kitchenette in our hotel room. That is critical. We've also got totes that we brought with us filled with our own kitchen gear. So we're not reliant on the hotel suite, the kitchenette gear. And of course, the family dog, right? And we've got a cooler. So with one tote, a cooler, and several other little things, we were able to successfully have a meal. So let me show you here. We've got in our kitchenette. So call the hotel or research a hotel that offers a fridge that's kind of like this. And you'll bring your dish with you, whatever you decide to bring with you, right, in your car. And you can store it in the fridge. You don't want one of those bite-sized mini fridges. You want to make sure it's kind of a full fridge, condensed version, right? And of course, your kitchenette should come fully stocked with some pots and pans, plates, and things like that. But we're going to kind of bypass the pots and pans and plates because we're going to be doing some other things. We also got a dishwasher if you want to, and a stovetop if you want to heat things up. So what we're going to be doing is actually catering through, in this case, Hy-Vee, right? You can call your local grocer and ask if they do catering. And surprisingly, it's pretty affordable. We were able to pay for our full Thanksgiving meal for a family, 12 people or so, for about $150. And if you do the math out at a restaurant, for example, or what you would go to the store and buy to celebrate at home, right, the grocery bill, you'd be looking at around that, if not more. So this is what we catered. We went and picked it up. We didn't even bring it with us. We picked it up locally at our destination hotel, right, pretty much right across the street. And we started to, bring it in and put it in the fridge and get it ready. And it does come with full instructions, which is really helpful when we're talking about the turkey breast preparation. Now, we also brought with us several crock pots. We don't actually own all these. We hit up the neighbors and said, hey, can we borrow your crock pot? And we're not going to make a mess with these crock pots. We're going to use these liners to line the crock pots to heat things up in and get it nice and hot without making a mess. We also brought with us, turkey cutting knives, for example, are good knives, in an oven mitt. We weren't sure if the hotel kitchenette had an oven mitt. We've also got soap transported in the tote, so it all fits nicely. We're doing paper plates as well, so we want to minimize dishes with the small countertop space, right? And another perk to a hotel is family fun in the pool, right? Very underestimated, but you can have some good family bonding time, especially obviously if you have children. They are likely going to love it. And another great perk about celebrating in a hotel is your access to professional workout equipment. Yeah, like a treadmill. You don't have this at home, right? So you might as well take advantage and work off some of those pounds that you're putting on with the turkey or whatnot. All right, let's get back to some tips. As I mentioned earlier, we're going to be lining all of our crock pots. Now, you could certainly use the microwave to heat everything up, but that's, in my opinion, several minutes of waiting around one thing at a time. And by the time, one thing gets warm, the stuff that you heated up previously has gotten cold. So this is an advantage to several crock pots with liners. Cleanup's going to be really easy. I'm not a huge fan of, plastic waste, but in this case, once a year, not so bad. And certainly it's serving a good purpose, right? So we're going to take our catered food. In this case, we've got mashed potatoes galore for part of the Thanksgiving meal. And we'll go ahead and dump all that into the lined crock pots. And we'll put the stuffing in another one. And scrape that out. Now these leftover containers make great Tupperware. They may or may not be dishwasher. You may or may not be able to put them in the dishwasher, but hang on to them, rinse them out, bring them home with you, put them back in the tote. Now we'll put the turkey breast, instead of a full turkey where you have to worry about, deboning, cutting it up with the typical Thanksgiving meal. We're actually buying the turkey breast. So there's really minimal work. You just plop it in and put the lid on it and just put the crock pot on low to medium to high heat, depending on what time you put it in, and it just warms up. Now it may come with kind of a plastic lining. You can take that off, read the instructions. We're going to put everything in around 1:15 in the afternoon for a 4:30 meal. Plug everything in. And look at the small countertop that we have. We're dealing with very, very little countertop, but we're totally maximizing our space and making it work. To the right there, you can see we've got some pots out that was included in the hotel kitchenette. And so we're heating up some extra sides on the stovetop as well. So we've got very, very operational little kitchen here. We're going to plug it all in. And again, you'll put it on low, medium, or high depending on or warm, right? Depending on your crock pot and depending on how long you want it to warm up. The longer the better, because you don't want to burn anything as you heat it. So high is not recommended unless you have that turkey breast right there. We actually had to kick it up to high the last hour or so. It wasn't getting warm in the middle fast enough. So kind of depends on what you're cooking. Here's another look at the sides that we're making with the hotel provided pots and pans. Now, as far as the dining room table or the table eating situation, we do have several rooms. We had 3 rooms total. So we went across the hall. We had rooms that were really close to each other. That would be another tip. Get rooms that are close to each other. And you're going to basically move furniture around. You can play this game. Bring a tablecloth too. Put it in your tote. Bring it with you. That works well. You don't have to, but it helps it make you feel like you're not necessarily in a hotel room. And pour yourself a glass of wine. Make a little kids table with some of the tables in the room, and voila, you've got a nice sitting area. So you might have to get creative, but again, get a room with a suite and a kitchenette, and you should have some space, some good space. Now when the food's all ready, we'll use the prep table. We have one table kind of behind the kitchen against the wall where we can actually serve everything up. We're going to be getting that ready and microwaving any last minute things. This was the sweet potato casserole that we made and brought with us from home, and that turned out really well, by the way. And so this is kind of what that table looks like. We've got everything. So again, things are catered, brought with us, and cleanup's going to be super easy. Look at the room. You can see the walls basically. It's a very small space, but we are making this work. And we got some pretty good food too. We were happy with the catering. And, it's a traditional Thanksgiving meal in a hotel room. Here's some final shots of what the kids' table over here looks like. So they actually made their own placemats, kind of turkey-themed placemats. And again, that tablecloth. Now, as far as cleanup goes, again, I mentioned earlier, paper plates, and use these liners. So it's just a matter of recycling and throwing things away as needed. You could certainly scrape things out, but look at that. The crock pot's completely clean, and you can throw those bags away. Store anything in the containers that were catered. So you can see here, these were the original catering containers for the food. So we're going to put leftovers in that and bring it back home with us in the cooler that we brought. And that is how you have Thanksgiving or a holiday meal in a hotel room. Good luck. Hopefully this has helped you out. Thanks.
I like the